Vyacheslav Averyanov was awesome and amazing. One of the most spectacular aerobatic maneuvers is the controlled flat spin. It's obvious the concept of high-level maneuverability wasn't implemented only for spectators' enjoyment. First of all, high-level maneuverability is necessary for a fighter in close aerial combat. In close air combat, the one who saw first has an advantage. It is the aircraft high-level maneuverability that allows maneuvering in space, making a faster turn with a smaller radius. During maneuver air combat, the task is to precisely turn the weapon axis to an enemy. What did we achieve due to a controlled thrust vector? First of all, it is flight safety. Now, from the point of view of stability and controllability, such critical phenomena as stall, spin in its usual occurrence, loss of control at high angles of attack, did not exist any longer. We can lose speed up to zero. We can tail slide with a negative speed, keeping up the weapon axis on an enemy aircraft. There are many opinions with regards to whether the high-level maneuverability is needed or not, for how far we need it. This is, of course, a question of tactics, how to use this available means. But we state the fact that this means is already available. This is how the system works at fighter takeoff. Please note, when a pilot pulls the control stick, the stabilizers are deflected together with the nozzles, thus significantly reducing a takeoff run. Our story of the Su-27 aircraft family continues with aerobatic teams which fly these aircraft. Aerobatic team test pilots played a key role in promoting the Su-27 so that this aircraft became well known worldwide. This aerobatic team was organized at the Gromov Flight Research Institute. Hero Russia Anatoly Kvochur is the leader of the team. The team flies the Su-27 and the Su-30 aircraft. The most spectacular part of the aerobatic flying is a head-on approach. The approach speed might reach 1,500 kilometers per hour. Very impressive are the Su-27 classical aerobatic maneuvers such as Cobra and tail slide. Sometimes these maneuvers are performed in pair. This is the Russian Knights, the Russian Air Force aerobatic team. The Russian Knights discharge flares saluting to the spectators below. Beautiful, isn't it? In combat conditions, these flares mislead enemies' radar homing missile seekers. You can see how technicians are installing new flares in the aircraft. The most difficult part of the Knight's demo flying is the formation roll. From the ground, it looks like all the aircraft roll as one. But each aircraft flies on its own unique path. Russian Falcons aerobatic team represents Lipetsk Air Base Combat Training Center of the Russian Air Force. The Falcons demonstration flight includes elements of combat dogfight. Note that false canopies are painted underneath the aircraft fuselage. This is to confuse enemy pilots so that in close aerial combat, they hardly understand which direction the fighter is moving and from which side it is going to attack. Pilots have their own task as well as technicians. That's how they pack the drag chute. Lipetsk Air Base with its Falcons aerobatic team is a link between aircraft designers and military units. This is the place where military pilots first meet the new aircraft. The first upgraded Su-27 aircraft were delivered to this place. Now the fighters can attack ground targets more efficiently. The Su-27 aircraft is a production upgrade Su-27SM. For foreign customers, the export version, called the Su-27 SKM, was developed. So much we've learned about the Su-27 aircraft family, and we've seen these fighters from different points of view. But there's another interesting aspect that very often can hardly be seen. The pilot's actions before and during the flight on the Su-27. When the tacticians have prepared the fighter for takeoff, the crew arrives. Before taking a seat in the cockpit, the pilot makes a visual inspection of his aircraft. It has nothing to do with the pilot's superstition. According to official documents, an aircraft must be visually checked before every flight. This is routine for both test and military pilots. The pre-flight inspection begins with the pitot tube. It's important to check its mounting, all the holes that have to be free and clean. The cone nose part is also checked. But most important is the air intakes inspection, because they are the aircraft heart. If there are more suspensions, their availability is also checked. The wing is being examined. Pilots have an obligatory tradition to kick a wheel when making an inspection. Technicians ask them what they want to check with such a pressure on the wheel. Anyway, the pilots stick to this tradition. Everything is in place. The nose strut is being examined. There is alcohol in this tank. After these procedures, the pilot accepts the aircraft, puts his signature in the technician's logbook, and can start up the engine and make the flight. As soon as the pilot takes his seat, he fastens the harness. Seemingly simple, this procedure is critical enough because the belts must not restrict the pilot's movements. And at the same time, they must hold him tight when he performs aggressive maneuvers. Russian Knight's aerobatic team pilots are checking their belts tension. Then communications and life support systems are connected, followed by the aircraft systems check. The pilot starts the engines. When he makes sure that the engines work fine, the pilot checks the efficiency of the aircraft controls by moving hard the control stick and pushing the pedals. Here is Vyacheslav Averyanov getting ready to fly the Su-30 MKR. When the canopy is closed, the cockpit automatically gets pressurized. The takeoff preparation process is fascinating. Harsh, a little bit intoxicating smell of aviation kerosene. And the sound, low roar of rotating turbines turning into a shrill hissing. The hypnotizing movements of controls. The aircraft springs to life as if it were alive.
Работе
Takeoff clearance is given and the aircraft is taxiing to the runway. The pilot provides maximum engine thrust, releases the brakes, activates the afterburners, and the aircraft starts its swift takeoff run. As soon as the fighter takes off, the pilot retracts the landing gear using a special control. This is a video of some aerobatic maneuvers taken inside the cockpit and from the ground. The roll, the Cobra, the tail slide, round of applause. Having admired the beauty of the flight, it's worth talking about the Su-27 combat power, that is, the fighter armament. We'll start with an aircraft cannon. The Su-27 aircraft is equipped with a Gusha 301 cannon. The 30mm single-barrel cannon was developed by two Russian designers, Gryazev and Shipunov. Its ammunition load is 150 rounds. The cannon efficiently hits air targets over a distance of up to 800 meters. The Su-27 missile armament initially included the R-27 air-to-air medium range and the R-73 short-range missiles. The R-27 missile launching range is up to 80 kilometers, and the R-73 missile launching range is 30 kilometers. By the way, the R-73 is the smallest missile in the Su-27 missile armament. Its weight is a little more than 100 kilos.